right, we're here with Nina, who is hosting a little Tuesday get-together.
And she has gone all out.
Yep, she's done the fancy charcuterie thing.
Look at those solid maple serving boards.
So classy.
And those gold rim side plates? Gorgeous.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And she got it all at Marshall's for way less.
Even the cheese?
No, not the cheese, but that to die for sequin top.
Marshall's?
Yep, Marshall's. Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
Weekdays starting at 4 on NBC4.
Another school year with so much uncertainty. News 4 is working for you, dedicating important coverage to keeping kids safe at school.
Helping you navigate the biggest issues facing parents, children, and teachers.
And giving you expert guidance from local doctors and educators.
And showing you ways to manage stress weekday afternoons starting at 4.
We'll help you get through the school year safely.
Weekdays starting at 4 on NBC4. We're working for you.
You're listening to Awakening Code Radio. Mind-expanding, heart-opening, talk and music to raise your vibration.
Some people consider it the shifting of the ages. Others see it as a whole new paradigm for humanity. But whatever you want to call it, it's hard to deny that we are in a moment of immense change. A moment challenging us to wake up and live life more consciously. This is Eric Rankin.
And I'm Michelle Anderson, and you're listening to Awakening Code Radio,
where the conversation is always about raising the vibration of love, compassion,
happiness, forgiveness, stewardship, health, and peace.
Thank you for joining the conversation.
This is Deepak Chopra.
Hi, I'm Marianne Williamson.
Hi, this is Greg Braden, and you are listening to Awakening Code.
Awakening Code. Awakening Code Radio.
Yes, you are. Thank you so much for tuning into Awakening Code Radio. I am half of your podcast and broadcast team. My name is Eric Rankin, and to my right in the beautiful studio here at KXFM in Laguna Beach is Michelle Anderson. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Eric. Are you looking at me right now?
I am.
Did you notice I'm too busy taking pictures of our guests in
I
studio?
did. We've got some awesome guests in our studio. We are coming off of an awesome weekend. We were out in the high desert near Joshua Tree. A lot of our listeners know that we have both been highly involved with the Integratron out there and Giant Rock and the landing strip where an immense moment of contact took place in 1953 by an aeronautical engineer named George Van Tassel, who believes he died in 1978, but said up until his dying day that he made contact with an extraterrestrial being who gave him some instructions and physics formulas to build what is now known as the Integratron, which is called a cellular rejuvenation machine or an anti-gravity machine or a time displacement machine. And it's something you can go visit, have a sound bath there. You can go to Integratron.com. Or find the workshops that I do there at either Integratron.com events or at Sonic Geometry. And I know you have some things you want to talk about.
So many. I don't know if I'll get to all of them, but I want to say first off, thank you to all of our listeners that are texting me right now. I sent a little blast out with our admin Colleen's great post that she put together. And one of the things I would like to ask our listeners to do is to just give us a like on those, if you can, on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. Admin Colleen works so hard behind the scenes, and I just want to make sure that she's getting the praise that she deserves for what she does behind the scenes. And she puts them all together, but a lot of times people don't click like on them or don't see them. They may, so we want to bolster that. We want to show her our love.
We have very few metrics of, we hear stuff from Tyler, the station manager, of who's listening and how successful the podcast listens are and things like that. But we don't get tons of metrics like on our Facebook page of who's seeing it, who's acknowledging. So
I don't know if maybe there's something that we need to do in our settings or something. But anyway, I wanted to give Admin Colleen a shout out for being there and being so amazing at putting these together. And of course, I give them to her last minute, like the day of. But tonight's show was born because of what we experienced this weekend on Saturday. And Eric, the first thing that I want to say is all of us in this room were moved to tears. Each one of us. I saw each one of us emotional on Saturday, watching you in your joy. You were in this space of sheer bliss because all these people who love you so much and who you love were supporting you, because it felt like it was like a 10-year cycle. Like, we started together out there with Dawn. Kyle, I don't know if you were at that first one, but Dawn was playing gongs at that first one, and Eldilma, I don't even think Alfonso was playing crystal bowls yet, but Eldilma, it was her very first time playing in public with the crystal bowls. And seeing you so excited, Eric, and seeing your heart so full really moved us all. And what I experienced was this feeling that if the whole world could feel what we felt, in the blink of an eye, everything would change. Not that it would go back to the way it was, because I don't think that we're supposed to go back to the way it was. But there was so much respect, so much honoring. No matter where we're at on the spectrum of our beliefs, everybody was in the space of love. Love does that. Love moves us. Love moves mountains. And I witnessed that this weekend. It was like you would think it was a milestone birthday for you. You know, you didn't get to experience a 60th birthday party, right, because that was last January, right?
It was
January 2020 or 2021?
2020. Mm-hmm. And we were out at the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, because that's a fun thing to do. But no, what you would call like the big deal, surrounded by the people that you love and have been on a part of your journey with you. And of course, this, what we call sonic geometry, the Integratron journey, has been like the shaping of my life for the last 10 years. And so many people that were there the first one or two times were there. We had 25, 26 people out there in the desert. And it went from hyper celebration and silliness. It was like waves to, deep drops as we heard the gongs being played out live in the desert under this incredible sky and stars and moon.
Which took it to an expansiveness that I don't think any of us have experienced before, that it was so expansive. There was no roof containing the energy, and everybody was so fluid. There was no like, you do this, you do that. It was just super organic.
Yeah, well, I had a framework light in my head, but Dawn said, "Oh, I'll bring a gong." I had no idea she was going to bring these 3 giant planetary gongs and a rain stick and drums, and bring her own uplights and project all of this against this granite backdrop wall. I mean, it looked like a production that Disneyland would pull off. And then the temperature was amazing, and the stars and Jupiter and Saturn overhead. It was so profoundly moving for me as well. And you talked about tears. I don't remember if it was when Dilma and Alfonso were playing the bowls or when Dawn and Kyle were playing the gongs. But I just sat there going, this is as beautiful as life can get right now.
You moved us all. We were all crying. Tears of gratitude, tears of joy, tears of feeling like this was the end of something and the beginning of something new.
It did feel like that.
The next day when we talked, I just said, is there any way I can get all of you to come to the station on Tuesday and recreate this for our listeners? Because I've been getting a lot of text messages, emails, phone calls from our listeners that are really struggling right now, really going through a hard time with the mandates. A lot of people are choosing to leave their jobs on their decisions. And there's so much going on with people's emotions right now that I wanted to give them a spark of hope. And I'm seeing that spark of hope. I didn't even realize it, but while we were out there, Jupiter went direct and Mercury went direct yesterday. Not that I understand all of this to the degree that Dawn does, because Dawn, she speaks astrology. She loves to do relationship astrology, and she was giving us some ideas about that. So I wanted to say that things are starting to happen. I know Southwest Airlines dropped their mandates, and Travis Tritt is now speaking up and canceling shows on principle.
A lot of shifting.
A lot of stuff. I was saying, I don't know if you all know about In-N-Out and what In-N-Out has done in San Francisco, but they went on record and said, we refuse to become the vaccine police. Stand for Health Freedom. I was just reading they're 46,500 families strong and growing rapidly. And I want to say that again, standforhealthfreedom.org. And now they're actually doing something that I think is part of our future, which is joining in partnership with a group called A Voice for Choice Advocacy in California. So they're getting people aware and activated and empowering us to take a stand. And I know these are my beliefs. This may not be the beliefs of the radio station. And I've decided to start speaking up a lot more. I don't want to make anyone wrong for any of the decisions that anybody's made. I love you all. I respect you all. But I want to get information out there that sometimes people aren't getting over regular mainstream news. And I also wanted to say congratulations to my friend Mickey Willis, who won the best documentary, the top spot at the European Film Festival for his film Plandemic. And I just got in the mail today his book, Plandemic. And he says, fear is the virus, truth is the cure. So I want to stand for truth. I want to stand for love and really have us step into our hearts and come into a place of acceptance and gratitude and joy for what we're going to hear. But I'd like to hear a little bit from Don and Kyle and Eldoma and Alfonso before we go into this sound journey that you're going to take us on. I really would like to hear what you experienced out there in regards to what Eric crafted and what we all, witnessed and felt. Do you want to start, Don?
That mic right there. That's everybody's speaking mic.
Hi.
There you go. Right on it.
Now, right? Okay, this is Dawn. Yeah, it was incredible. First and foremost, I want to say that the gongs are absolutely sorry guys. The gongs are absolutely they remove all obstacles. The bowls, sound, frequency, it changes things, it shifts things. And it was such a powerful adventure, and when I got home, all I could think of was a happy day. Mm-hmm. It felt like we just returned home. Yeah. And there was so much love. And here we have these portals, these gongs and these bowls, and we were all on like a hero's journey. We've all been on our own hero's journey. And we all came back together to share that experience. And there was so much acceptance, so much just peace and happiness. And I love that Michelle asked us to do that for the listeners, because everyone deserves this love and peace.
Right. And these are going to be live performances. Yeah. I mean, these giant gongs are here in the studio with us, these beautiful crystal bowls. I mean, you are going to be hearing a live performance, listener, which changes things.
Because we have the ability to podcast, whenever we're feeling a dip, I feel like I felt a lot of dips in this last, year and a half. We can come back to this podcast and listen to it again. And I think that's what sound does to us. Yeah. It raises our vibration, it raises our frequency, and it brings us back to this place. I'm just thrilled that you're doing that. And Eldoma and Alfonso, you were sharing something about what happened on Monday night at Matisse Wellness Center, where you have your sound healings every Monday night.
Good evening. First of all, we would like to express our gratitude with both of you, Eric and Michelle. Thank you for this opportunity, my wife.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Alfonso.
It's been really, as we were very emotional on Saturday for being there on this journey that we started without conscious awareness, but we knew that we were all called to be there. And it marked a beautiful trajectory for all of us to continue on the next journey. We don't know, because we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to involve our egos, but we felt it in our hearts. Mm-hmm. And I expressed my appreciation to Gary and Michelle before we left, because during the week, I was having a life review of my last 10 years. And this huge shift for me started since I met you guys. Mm. by connecting me to my true essence and to my true purpose. And it was a purpose that started when I was younger, that I was holding frequency and that I love music and I enjoy, but there was much more to that. And being there and being awakened to a greater potential and a greater reality brought me back to my roots and my essence and what is my purpose. And so much has evolved ever since. And yes, Saturday was epic. It was beautiful how everything flowed. We were all in our hearts. And during our sound bath on Monday, people did not know that we were there, that we had that experience. And after we finished our sound bath, I asked for what did they feel during the sound bath, and everybody said we had an amazing heart-opening experience. They all felt so much joy and love and peace, and here we go. We don't have to be mental about it. We don't have to say, just allow the heart and the body to feel. And this is what we're going back. We're going back to connecting to this goddess energy that is filling our bodies and having the common sense to make the right choices and stepping into our freedom and sovereignty. But thank you for being here, because I really feel that we do hold a frequency. And it's very important that we come back to community. Come back 100%. To community and hold this community. We cannot run away with fear, which has happened throughout history. Right. Especially if I speak from my country, we're here because of that. Your refugees. As the refugees from Colombia. And it started 50, 60 years ago with invasion of territory. So we're here, and I believe that it's very important that we as community stand strong, and we do have the power by coming into our peace, and it's all about frequency and holding that frequency. It is all about frequency, and I just love that both of you are here because you are all frequency masters. I mean, you understand the significance of frequencies. It came through me a different way, the significance of frequency, and the information was very, particular and locked in certain ways. But I know you studied a lot with Jonathan Goldman, who we've had on the show, and he's so about, don't worry so much about specifics. It's the intention. It's what frequency does to everybody, and every spiritual practice and religion has frequency, has chanting, didgeridoos, vibration, bells, gongs. There's something that we understand about frequency, how important it is to us when we drop into our quest to know our spiritual purpose. Absolutely. So I just love that Alfonso wants to say something.
Yes, frequencies makes the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. It locks things in, it feels like. And so one thing I will, because I am Mr. Particular, one thing I have noticed that in my sonic geometry videos, we mentioned this trio of tones, and we ended up calling it the King's List, and those three tones are 288, 360, and 432. A lot of people have heard about 432 tuning, but these happen to be exactly accurate and ratioed frequencies that you would not hear ever on the radio. It sounds like chords that we would recognize. And the interesting thing about it is this combination of tones seems to be following humanity right down to the numerics gifted to us in old texts. Joseph Campbell called them mathematical mythologies without even knowing why. I believe that they are truly a guidance system for us to recognize these tones. So just by chance, Don and Kyle brought three large gongs that are the 288D, the 360 F sharp, and the A432A. And then Dilma and Alfonso brought the same three bowls. We're going to play an overtrack of Jonathan Goldman, who during the harmonic convergence in 1987 believed the Pleiadians were coming to him and giving him a set of frequencies that happened to be the same three frequencies. And he didn't even know what they were. And he thought they were so powerful, he wouldn't even release them for 25 years. So we're going to play those to overlay. And I'm just going to let the listener hear on a chime set what those tones are in the most simple way you can play them. And this is the D. And this is the F sharp. And this is the A. And this is the high D. And many of you would recognize that as just a beautiful harmonic chord, a major chord. But it goes much deeper than that. Nature is revealed in there. Growth patterns are revealed in there. Cosmic algorithms are revealed in there. And ancient stories and texts that reveal those same numbers. So I have to believe that we are going to be dropping into a field of not only just vibration frequency, but communication from a mysterious intelligence in the past that wants us to understand these frequencies and feel their power.
I love the way that you say that. And one of the things that you didn't say were the names associated with those gongs that have planets
because I don't know
associated with them. So I'm going to let Dawn tell. She calls these her babies, and they're planets,
and they're big gongs.
between the gongs and Kyle, I kind of have my hands full. We have 8 of them, so it's kind of cool that these guys decided to join us, and they turned out to be the exact frequency that we're looking for and everyone needs. So we have over here it's over here Saturn over there in front of my beloved Kyle.
So Saturn is the D.
Saturn is the ability to Saturn is a D, and Saturn tells us let's get busy, let's get serious about our work. If you want to manifest intentions, you better crack down and do it. And then Jupiter is actually the F sharp. It is a 28-inch gong, and it is all about the heart center, and it's all about expanding ourselves and opening our minds and just voyaging to other worlds, giving us hope. And then we have over here Venus, and I think we all know what Venus is. Venus is an A, but besides that, Venus is about love and about just bringing ourselves into what we actually care about, relationships with the earth, relationships with each other, and just, relationships with ourselves. So, awesome. So
who else has goosebumps?
You got to be right on the mic there, Dilma.
It's interesting that you said that the Venus gong is in A. I would assume that it will be F sharp. But here we go. It's opening the third eye, our intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Beautiful. I'm excited.
Are we ready to play the gongs, or Michelle, did you have a different vision? Or
Dawn had sent me something, and I asked her if I could read it on air, and I really feel like going into this, I'd like to read what Dawn wrote, and real quick, and then the invocation that I got for after I attended this on Saturday. So Dawn wrote to me and said, the more we vibrate with like-minded people, the more sound our resonance becomes. And when we can share that sound resonance with group consciousness, we resound. This consciousness becomes the norm we plug back into Source, which contains all that is in the universe. We are all sound, the one verse, the universe. Isn't that beautiful?
I love it. Yeah, for sure.
It's so beautiful. And then I wrote a little invocation. I woke up Sunday morning. The sky was orange. I mean, I wish I could have taken a picture of it. And I said to myself, I'm taking a picture with my heart right now when I looked out my window car camping. And I invite anyone, if you want to put your name in this, if it feels right to you. What I wrote was, I, Michelle Anderson, a sovereign citizen of Earth, exercise my free will to stay on Earth and join with other radiant sovereign souls to usher in the dawning of a new age where peace prevails on Earth as we live in infinite gratitude, harmony, and joy in service for the greatest good for all life in every realm and dimension. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Simple.
We all dropped into a deep state of gratitude. And listener, you might imagine, everybody's walking around wearing white and flowing around eating nothing but vegan food and all of that. And it was, it had some of those elements, but we did a little disco party where I was wearing a fluorescent vest.
YMCA looking guy.
And just playing all the goofy dance songs you could play. I mean, it definitely went through all that. We had hot dogs, and I mean, we were
vegan dogs and
shots.
hot dogs. Yeah, we had it all. But see, this is the thing, and we talked about this earlier, that life is meant to be celebrated, and we have felt the heaviness of the entire planet, of the entire world, of our entire species, the human race. We have felt the heaviness of us looking at, are we going to expire? Are we going to become extinct? Or are we going to take action? And are we going to go up that evolutionary spiral? And I think we're doing it. I really feel more and more people coming together and doing it. It's not about politics. It's not about, one belief over another belief. This is what love does. We're here in this Earth School to perfect our ability to love. Michael Beckwith posted that on Instagram today, and I thought that was beautiful. And we did that. The ceremony that wasn't really a ceremony, but that really is a ceremony.
No intention. I never used the word. Right.
Yes.
I never used the word ceremony throughout there. I never had that as part of the plan. It did just flow. We ended the little dance party. And Dawn had been setting up the gongs and the lighting, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy moly, that's beautiful. They played for a while, and then while they were setting up, we drummed, and Gary Christmas had this Native American flute.
That's tuned to 432.
Tuned to 432, and then Adilmo Alfonso played the bowls, and it just flowed on its own. There was really no script to it, and it was just it gripped me so much and filled me with so much gratitude and love and appreciation for everyone was there, and then everyone that I feel sort of should have been there, the people that have been a part of the early story. Colleen, Jason, Heather, who else?
Victoria, Camille.
Yeah, there was people
Nadia.
that were there early with us and couldn't make it out there, but I felt
Lori
them.
Taylor.
Yeah, I felt them all, and it was just and new friends, and it was just a one of the most beautiful nights of my life.
I know.
Absolutely was.
We all witnessed that.
I feel like I'm riding on the vapors
really
of that. Yeah,
witness that.
for sure. All right, so let's, you can talk for a second, Michelle. I'm going to lower my mic. I'm going to come out here and bring the mics in front of the gongs, and we'll get started.
I'd like to give great gratitude to the Integratron staff and the owners of the Integratron for, bringing us all together in this way and standing with us. You cultivated something in all of us. And one of the things we were talking about tonight before we went on and while we were setting up, we were talking about how each one of us has matured over these last 10 years, that we all have a lot more confidence in the knowing that we're here on Earth for a purpose. And it was Giant Rock and the Integratron that I think really anchored that in each one of us and had us wanting to pursue that path of how are we going to use this energy to be in service to all life. And I hold so much gratitude for the Integratron as an entity in its own, as a beautiful, source of consciousness. That building holds consciousness, and I miss it. I love it. I love our friends at the Integratron, Joanne and Nan and Drayton and all of the staff there. We love you so much, and we dedicate this show to you.
Awesome. I'm here. I'm all for that. All right. I'm going to drop our mics and
Yeah, I wanted to say that tonight, this is the first time that my brother in Colombia is listening to us. And this is what love has expanded now into becoming more international. And my sister also in Texas are part of our tonight's show.
Awesome. Thank you, streaming. We love our streamers.
Muchas gracias for tuning in tonight from Colombia.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop our mics, Michelle and mine, and I'm going to bring the 3 mics up for Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus. Yes. 288, 360, 432. You can learn all about that on Sonic Geometry videos. Here we go. Ooh.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, that's it's funny watching the electronics here and listening through my headphones and stuff, that pure sine waves like that, while our bodies just absorb them and send us places, electronics are going, we don't know what to do with this. You know, it's almost like two different languages. Mm-hmm. And it feels just, I mean.
I feel so much more peace.
Yes.
So much more calm. And I hope our listeners could really feel the love that was being transmitted through the airwaves, just holding all of humanity in our hearts, those people who are suffering in any way. If you can just feel that love that's coming through to you, that we're visualizing that everything's going to be okay, and you're safe, and you're loved, and you're accepted, and you're respected. And I'm really feeling that helps us to drop into that place where we feel all of those. We feel peace, we feel harmony, we feel joy, we feel gratitude, and to transmit those codes into the universe, into the cosmos, as we do this dance that we're doing with so much love in our hearts. I wanted to share that a being came through at Giant Rock. Everybody's crying and hugging. That's so sweet. A being came through at Giant Rock. On one of the rocks out there, Dawn had been putting little alien tattoos on all of us. And I was sitting there and I heard this being say, "Look over here." And I looked over and saw the exact face in the rock. And everyone in this room saw my picture. I took the picture and then ran over to the rock and said, "Look, here's the nose, here's the eyes." And I felt like this being really wanted us to know they're there, they're holding us, they're with us. They're not going to save us without us doing our part. And our part is to get into our hearts, stand in our sovereignty and our power. We're not being, combative, but we're standing in our truth that love's going to see us through. And I think we're ready for the crystal bowls.
Me too. So this is a Dillman Alfonso playing these beautiful, perfectly tuned crystal bowls, the 288, 360, 432. We're going to drop our mics again and just drop into this space. And, of course, headphones. We're going to recommend that anybody wear headphones as they listen to this, because that's when it just totally immerses you. Woof.
You just made contact. Doesn't it feel like that?
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, the hugs. The hugs.
So what Dilman Alfonso could not hear, because we didn't have headphones for everyone, was the symbiotic relationship with Ascension Harmonics. I didn't bring that in until about 5 minutes in, so we heard all of that, and then slowly bringing this up, and it just adding this depth and backdrop of the same tones through Jonathan Golden's voice of just layering. But the effect, and then both of you dropping into a space where, light language or whatever that was coming through. Wow.
Did you have a Kundalini experience? Kyle, you look like you were.
Man,
he popped up and was like, "Whoa!"
I felt like the gongs kind of primed us.
Yeah,
almost like opened us up in this deep, resonant, cosmic way. gongs do something unpredictable because they don't sound tonal or musical. And I love that most gong players just say it's like the vibration of the universe, just because it's almost going in unexpected places. You hear voices and you hear oscillations and you hear these deep things and jet noises, and you're just like, whoa, what am I even hearing? And eventually you lose your sense of thought of what am I hearing, and you are just in it. And you can talk into that mic. I can turn that mic on. And then I think we did this just right, and then drop into the bowls, which have a little more of a tonality to them for sure. And Michelle and I were both watching the podcast recorder, watching it do something I've never seen it before.
It looked like a DNA sequence.
It looked like a very fluid, like snake, where the gongs just filled it almost. Usually when we're talking, we just see it looks like a EKG machine, just spikes and valleys. The gongs just filled it, just like almost a brick of sound. And then watching the bowls was like a snake. I mean, it was this undulating. I've never seen that on there, on the podcast recorder before. But man, all of that was just, all of that and more. That was astounding.
I really feel that that's what comes through when these sounds that come through me. Those were the visions that I received before we opened Matisse, and I didn't know that was my purpose. But when the symbol came, if you look at the symbol of Matisse, it has the DNA spiral. That was the vision that I received, and then the next thing I saw was the crystal, the angelite. The symbol is the latest crystal found on planet Earth, and it represents the Aquarian age. And it's like a thumbprint on the symbol. So yes, when I go in these higher states of consciousness, it takes me to see the DNA that is spiraling and is activating new codes. And I also get very connected to the water. I usually see a woman emerging from the water and is singing to us because we are water. We have the same amount of water as this planet has. And so that's the woman that comes and sings through me.
It's a powerful image, and it's one we talk about through history, a woman coming out of the water, whether it's King Arthur and the Lady of the Lake coming up out of the water, or Venus on a seashell coming out of the water. But something about the divine feminine arising from the water seems all very fitting for right now, and moving into Aquarius just was symbolized by water. I don't know enough. I know it's an air sign, right? It's not a water sign. So I don't want to get too far out of my lane of knowing what I'm talking about. But yes. And then when we go to the Integratron, so listener, I've been doing this. Michelle introduced me to the Integratron. I've been doing these workshops for 10 years. And Dilma and Alfonso have been involved in every single one of them. And it's going to 6 times 10 years, maybe 50 or 60 of these workshops. And you've been every step of the way, and I have watched both of you blossom in what you bring to the experience. And I've heard Alfonso kind of drop into this light language. I have not heard you as much. And over the mics, how clear and yet distant and haunting, and yet it was something. I mean, is it just something that overtakes you? I'm so compelled by my ex-wife's mother-in-law, just would drop in speaking in tongues. And it always sounded a bit Asian, a bit native, like a blending of different things. And I'm always surprised when it sounds very similar to different people. They say, I speak in light language, and it kind of has those same elements. It sounds a little bit Asian, a little bit Native American, a little bit something.
Hawaiian, sometimes.
Yes, definitely Hawaiian. Do you feel like you're attaching English words to it, or is it just a communique that comes through?
It's a communication that comes through. It's my experience with clients, because sometimes when clients, I'm seeing clients and there is this need for this energy to come through, their experience is that they feel that they are communicating with their ancestors, and they can totally tell me what they receive. I'm not aware sometimes of what comes through, but I feel it. I feel like my heart starts to expand, and then my throat opens up because my throat has been shut down, like many of us through history. And so this was the gift that I came to embrace, to sing and bring those tones through.
So powerful.
Really, really beautiful. I do want to say that listener Karen in Illinois wants an album.
Yeah.
I'd
buy that album.
She said she wanted an album, and Lori Taylor has worked with you at Matisse,
Yes.
and she's just a good friend of all of ours, and she just I gotta show you the emojis and the exclamation points. She was just saying that was phenomenal. She's still floating on the blissful magic cosmic carpet ride, and she's just dancing in the stars.
Oh yeah, look, that's a lot of emojis.
Thank you, Lori.
It's an emoji store.
She's listening from Florida, and it had the effect that I felt that it was going to have that kind of a ripple effect. And what I'm sensing is that we ride on this, that it doesn't end here. We keep this feeling, this vibration going. And it is going to take us to places. I have full faith and hope that we're going to get through this time, and we're going to emerge on the other side of it with big smiles on our faces and know that we all came to Earth for a reason.
And we're standing in a new place.
It is a new place.
Clearing a lot out.
Yeah.
This is a messy time, but whenever you're clearing something out, whenever you start a construction project, it's demo first.
Yeah.
You have to do that. And I feel like globally that is happening. Before we finish, Dawn, so
we want to give the websites.
But even before that, so Michelle, you were the first person to mention the word Integratron to me. Mm-hmm. Then my buddy Art mentioned it about 3 months later, and I'm like, okay, I got to go out there. And it was an overnight gong bath with this gong master Satantar. And Dawn was one of the gong players. So Dawn was there at my very first experience at the Integratron, which Dilma and Alfonso weren't, and Michelle wasn't because it was Satantar's event. And
I know, I felt like you went behind my back. I was like, oh my gosh, he went out there. I've been talking about it for all this time.
But it was such a convergence of things. But there was these 8, at least, planetary gongs being played upstairs. And I happened to go downstairs. The Integratron's a 2-story building. The upper half is domed, of course, if you've seen pictures of it. But I found myself in the bottom half. And while the gongs were playing up there, I felt something different happening downstairs. And some words started coming to me about the Integratron, about how it was supposed to work. I mean, that's truly what launched my interest in it. And one of the things was, and people were supposed to be wearing white downstairs as they got their healing walking around this column. And about the time that I had that thought, here comes Dawn floating down the steps from the upper level down to wearing all white. And I was already getting this feeling. And I said, Dawn, come here and sit in front of this part of this column. And she did. And I kept moving a chair that she was sitting in up and back a little bit until I thought in my altered state, okay, this is the spot. And I don't know how to explain it, because she was at times laughing, at times crying. It looked like she was having an orgasm to death experience. Her back arched, her arms fell down, her head tilted back. And she just said, what is happening here? And in that moment, I go, I want to find out. And that's 10 years later. I mean, I still feel like we're learning more, dropping into the significance of what frequency does. But you truly were there in that moment that launched me. And here we are, still with the gongs and frequency and meeting new people that are bringing so much to this. But yes, let's make sure we know how everybody can contact all of you. So,
and this truly is our anniversary. You know that?
Oh yeah, the anniversary show.
Yeah, this is our anniversary show.
This is it. Well, this is the anniversary show. Could not be more perfect.
It was
9 years.
October 18th that you posted that I was going to be your first guest on Soul Searching Radio that following Tuesday or something. So I think the first show must have been on 10/22, maybe.
I don't remember, but I remember you were the first person there, and I had no idea what was going to be talking about really, and you were just there holding the place down because I was ready to just be a nervous wreck. I'm still nervous pushing the buttons. And you've been a part of the journey from the whole way. This is just like old home week for me. This whole week has just been something.
And Rafael Bejarano was, I think, the second.
No, Rafael. So we were Soul Searching Radio.
He was on in February.
Yeah, Soul Searching Radio was about the first 2.5 months. And then we sort of piggybacked onto Awakening Code Radio out of London, 1111 Awakening Code, Georgina Beament. And Rafael was our first guest under the banner of Awakening Code Radio. And I can still remember his voice, Awakening Code Radio. And we want to say Godspeed. Rafael was killed in an absolutely tragic accident in Egypt that's just still reverberates through us because it was not only senseless, but almost just like we don't even know what to describe it. He was there leading a group of peace activists to drop into these historic places, and they were attacked by the government as if they were terrorists. So, Rafael, we love you. We keep your memory in our hearts. And he played all kinds of musical instruments, didgeridoo master, and he made his own ocarina, look like little spaceships that he would blow, and just an amazing, amazing human being.
There's video there. Colleen did a breakout standalone video, I think, of that, and it's on our Awakening Code Radio Facebook page under videos. I'm pretty sure it's still there.
Awesome. So, Dawn, tell us how people can reach you and all the stuff that you do on that mic right there.
Actually, it's Kyle.
Oh, Kyle. All right, Kyle. Well, then
Kyle,
turn the mic around
you
and
changed
talk
anatomy.
into it. Yeah,
a little bit.
All right.
Soundandstar.com is our website. We're just getting it launched, and you can contact us through that website. We are available for healing, sound healing, and
astrology, and our incredible ride in the circle, which we won't get into.
So soundandstar.com. All right. And Dilma and Alfonso, I know you have a healing
Launching
center.
today, right?
Today.
You launched that website today.
Well, perfect timing.
Right, finally. This is the full circle moment.
Yes. And actually, November 3rd is our 10th year anniversary of Matisse.
Wow.
It came after we had our encounter at the Integratron, and then so much stuff came through, so much information, and so you can reach us at matissewellnesscenter.org.
MATIZ is in zebra.
MATIC, which means frequency or hue in color.
Wow.
It's a word Spanish.
All right. Well, we don't want to take too much away from the show that follows us, so we're going to say goodbye. Oh, Kyle, yes?
I just want to say one thing in regards to what Michelle was talking about. Dawn and I have something we do on a daily basis, and it's where we speak to each other about what our intent of the day is, and our intentions are something that bring about reality or bring about things to activate. So everybody needs to have an intention on a daily basis, but don't just have one. Talk about it. Speak to your significant other or whatever, but make it known. You'll feel better about it.
Love
and
it.
remember, you're all a part of this great integral puzzle in the sky.
Experience. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was just dropping into remembering that Eric and I facilitated together.
Oh, yeah.
Your wedding vows.
Yeah, we
married Kyle and
That's
Dawn
right.
in June of 2016.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
So,
going back 5 years. Happy anniversary.
And Lori Taylor's reminding us of Raphael and how he used to throw the rubber chickens around to make people laugh.
Right.
You know, he had that spirit.
He was a jester. And,
Apoyo.
Yeah.
And
all right.
And I want to just say, shout out to Maura Hoffman. She's writing into everybody loved it. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey.
I will be listening. I will be throwing on headphones and listening to this many times.
And I think we will, we'll ask if Colleen is up for it, if she'll break out just the sound healing piece. So we will have that so that you can put that on both of your websites.
Yeah.
I think it should be on both of your websites. And thank you, listener, for contributing your hearts to this.
Absolutely. And we have another great show for you next week. But until then, we all want to remind you to
be good humans.
Everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Love you.
This is Eric Rankin
And Michelle Anderson from Awakening Code Radio.
right here on KXFM.
We'd like to invite you to join a conversation to raise the vibration.
Broadcasting live every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 p.m., we cover all aspects of the process of awakening, whether it's emotional or spiritual growth.
And have hosted such luminaries as Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, James Redfield, and many others.
With a global audience, our show is one of the most listened to programs here at KXFM.
And we would love for you to join the conversation.
All right, we're here with Nina, who is hosting a little Tuesday get-together.
And she has gone all out.
Yep, she's done the fancy charcuterie thing.
Look at those solid maple serving boards.
So classy.
And those gold rim side plates? Gorgeous.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And she got it all at Marshall's for way less.
Even the cheese?
No, not the cheese, but that to die for sequin top.
Marshall's?
Yep, Marshall's. Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
Weekdays starting at 4 on NBC4.
Another school year with so much uncertainty. News 4 is working for you, dedicating important coverage to keeping kids safe at school.
Helping you navigate the biggest issues facing parents, children, and teachers.
And giving you expert guidance from local doctors and educators.
And showing you ways to manage stress weekday afternoons starting at 4.
We'll help you get through the school year safely.
Weekdays starting at 4 on NBC4. We're working for you.